Okay, everyone, we are live here. This is Todd Cahill on the U Virtue Show, where we are really diving into how we can help each and every one of you conquer yourself, both on some of the battles like you versus your health, you versus your relationships, you versus your promises, you versus your knowledge. And we always bring some awesome guests on every single Wednesday that really are here to kind of share their experience of some of these battles that they faced or are currently facing now. So if you're tuning in, welcome. We're so glad to have you. And today we have Tammy Plett here. I believe, Tammy, you're in Utah, right?
Yes, I
Okay,
am.
sweet. And reason I want to have you on, you've been in the health and wellness industry for many, many years, right? If you can just share a little bit of your background, and then we'll get into kind of that battle of your health. We'll kind of start there, and then we'll also go into the emotional side, which is always something I like talking about, when it comes to the physical health, but also the emotions coming together. So tell us a little bit about your background.
So I've worked in the health industry in doing home health care, in doing private care, caring for elderly people.
Okay.
For quite a while. It started like years and years ago when my first mother-in-law died of lymph node cancer, and I didn't know how to handle it, and I didn't know how to help her. And so that kind of spiraled me into the health field to be able to kind of pay back to other people because I wasn't able to care for her.
Okay, got it. And what got you into like the health and wellness field anyway? Like what made you kind of stay in for like 30 years? Like what's like most exciting for you? Like for you?
It's really gratifying,
Mm-hmm.
and it just really fed my soul to be able to help people who otherwise maybe wouldn't get help.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always had a very empathetic heart. I've always just been that person that is kind of drawn to that.
Okay. Well, tell what happens in the emotional side, because I know that you're a emotion code and body code practitioner, right?
Emotion code.
Okay, emotion code. So tell me a little bit about how emotions, because I'm always interested to hear this topic. Like if someone feels anxiety, or someone even is depressed, or they're lonely, or maybe they, are going through a hard time, what does that do to the health of their body specifically, from the things that you've seen and the things that you've learned?
So positive attitude is literally everything. It's top on the list.
Mm-hmm.
And for those that don't have a positive attitude, they decline faster. They stay sick instead of getting well. So I've always been a super positive person, always have seen the bright side in any situation,
Mm-hmm.
and able to kind of pull that out. And I've also been that hippie girl for years.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I was like in junior high, I was the hippie girl and didn't even know it.
Okay.
And so I've always used natural remedies, natural medicine. I like the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time you take care of things at home with natural remedies, and then 20% extremely grateful for modern medicine.
Yeah, definitely. Well, tell me about negative trapped emotion. So when somebody has a trapped emotion, first of all, what does that mean to you? And then I want to kind of dive in more on that. Like what does a trapped emotion mean?
So a trapped emotion is going to be something that is stuck in somewhere in your body system, and it's rolling around there wreaking havoc, and you don't know it. You don't have any idea. You don't realize that the reason why you get anxiety every time a train comes by is because you have a trapped emotion that is connected to that. Or if you have some kind of situation in your life that for some reason it's like, oh, I can't do that. Because there's a trapped emotion. And so you clear that trapped emotion that, again, you have no idea is connected to that. And eventually that calmness will come over you, and you will be able to do those things that you want to do because you've been able to clear that.
And do we know that it's those trapped emotions, did we actually like create that ourselves, or is it from maybe our folks or our parents, or we absorb it too, right? Because I want to kind of dive in, like what if we're trying to be positive all the time and we're just like, especially most kids are positive. I have a 7-year-old daughter that she's just always so positive, but her brother might be negative. So she's absorbing that already at 7 years of age. So can you talk a little bit about like how we can absorb negative emotions from other people, even though we're positive ourselves?
Yeah, that's so huge because again, it's something that we don't realize is happening. And you can be in a situation where it's not you. Maybe you're 7 and your friend is having a really hard time. Maybe they're at their parents' house and their parents are arguing. And so the friend takes that on and then the daughter takes that on as well. So that can become absorbed. It can be inherited from think of the World War II, think of World War I, all of the ancestors of all of those people, even those that are at war today, the emotional things that they feel then are passed down to their posterity, and they have no idea. So it's super important to just do maintenance all the time, just to clear whatever is there.
So that's great. I'm glad that's a segue into the next question. So what does that mean, maintenance? And where does someone like you come in that is a certified emotion code practitioner when somebody might not have even thought or considered energy work or energy healing? Maybe they just said, well, I just got to get to the gym. I just got to, I'm not feeling good today and I got to just work out. Or, hey, I just want to go watch a movie and forget about life for the next 2 hours and just, but it's going to come back. It's a temporary fix. But what is it that specifically that you might be able to serve and do for someone that might be in that situation?
So I try to have that conversation of, it all works together. So going to the gym, getting outside, doing good things for yourself, eating healthy, doing different therapies and things that help you is all important. And try to let them know that if you do an emotion session with me, that's like the tip of the iceberg, and that's like the icing on the cake, so to speak, to say, okay, all these other things that you're doing, you'll really notice the difference by having an emotion session done to help clear those things. And one of the things that I am a super strong proponent in is our olfactory system, our sniffer.
Yep. Okay.
And being able to, because our body system has this negative energy, we're releasing it, we're letting it go, bye-bye. We don't want that anymore. So now our body has this hole.
Okay.
This imaginary hole. It's just like when you put your mind to losing weight, someone puts their mind to losing weight, and then if they're not careful, slowly that weight will come back on because your body's like, oh, but I like this. This is normal.
Right.
This is normal. I'm comfortable here. And so it's my belief that things like essential oils and using for your olfactory system are super important to help then make a new connection. Because if you have this bad vibe with every time you were in your grandmother's house and she had this certain smell in her home, maybe it was rose perfume or maybe it was creamed peas and gravy smell, I don't know, but you have this bad vibe with it. So now we're removing all these trapped emotions. So now we want to place something back. And so I like to suggest to clients that they have an essential oil that they make like an aura spray, sprayed over the crown chakra, soaks down in the crown chakra into the olfactory system to go up to the limbic brain where it creates new memories and new associations.
That's amazing. So just what is your definition of olfactory system? Just so everyone that was wondering.
Your sniffer.
Your nose, okay, right here, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So basically, like your senses, or it's just like that one sense.
So that sense is a lot more acute and will bring back memories faster, that will trigger memories faster than any picture, any conversation. People get a whiff of something and they are brought back on point every single time immediately. So it's just super strong.
That's amazing. So let's say people do have a bunch of trapped emotions. Can you talk anything about relationships when this happens in significant other relationships where people might have trapped emotions, but have you ever had a client like one is aware and they really want to seek help, and then maybe the other one thinks what you do is a bunch of hogwash and they're fine and they don't need it? Well, how does that kind of play into relationships? Because you're either growing or declining, and it would be kind of perfect if both always wanted to grow and be open, because I think a lot of times people need to just be open to possibilities, especially when it comes to like energies and feelings, because we get closed off maybe because of that trauma that we've had in the past, right? Of the old way of thinking and the old stuff. So anything that you can share about that specifically, that success stories that you've worked with, or even in your personal life, anything that might come up for you on that?
So one of the things that I truly believe in is it all starts with you. Doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter if you're in a relationship or you're not in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't learn to love and accept yourself,
Mm-hmm.
then you can't continue. Even removing trapped emotions are going to be temporary, especially in a relationship, if you don't have that love relationship with yourself.
Mm.
So if there's a couple, maybe the wife is all for it, the husband's like, that's hogwash. If the wife works on herself and learns to love herself and removes those trapped emotions from herself, the relationship will naturally get better because she has that allowance of herself in having that self-care and that self-love. Because after all, we need to be our own best friends because we spend the most time with ourselves.
That's beautiful. I love that. I love it. So how does one, and again, I'm just trying to play the interviewer because I definitely know some of these answers too, but I really like talking about this with you, because how does someone really fall in love with themselves? Because here's a word that I hear a lot, okay? Narcissism. I think this word narcissism is like the new cool word for women and men, but a lot of women blaming a spouse that they're just always narcissistic. But if you look at the definition of narcissism, it's like basically they don't care about people. And so I think if I love myself too much, I might be a narcissist. But how does that parlay into like loving myself healthy wise, where no matter what happens to me, I'm good, but also knowing that if I do love myself, then my tank is filled, that I can give love back, So because a true narcissist doesn't even care about people. They just care about themselves. But how can we understand how to love ourselves more and not feel like that, like it's like weird, but then we can give back, so our cup is more filled every day? So what would you say about that?
So yeah, there is a huge difference between narcissism and being self-centered and doing things purely for yourself. Oh, I'm the best, I'm the coolest, I'm everything. It's totally different than learning to love yourself and accept yourself. One of the things that I always talk about in my sessions is breathing. And learning how to breathe, learning how to connect, because breathing is the breath of life. The breath of life is your spirit. The breath of life is connecting with your higher self, your God, the person, the energy that you call, whatever it is that you call. And so once you are connecting with that and realizing that you breathe whether you want to or not, like that's a gift of life. And so it creates gratitude, and gratitude of just being alive. So working on having that self-love. A lot of times in my sessions, I will say, put your arms around, give yourself a hug. Give yourself a hug while we're removing these emotions, because because it's just so important, and people don't take it seriously enough. Like everyone needs to have that self-love. Everything that you do is based on it. Your personality is based on your self-love. Your being able to have relationships, your communication is based on self-love. If you can't communicate with another human being, you need to go inside and to say, what is it about me that I'm so afraid that I will or won't do? So I need to work on that and to be able to have that.
Thank you. I love this interview. Let me, I just love, because your answers are so great and I could piggyback off them. I love it. So what about if you do love yourself a lot, very healthy, you're taking care of yourself, you're breathing, you're working out, you're meditating, you're even hiring you, right? You're my, let's say, practitioner even. But I have a difficult spouse, or I have a difficult boyfriend or girlfriend, right? I have a difficult kind of family members they even see my growth and now they're making fun of my growth. Like, how does that parlay? Because now you're like almost doubting yourself, because you're like, okay, I love myself and I did everything I was told to do, but the people around me they're not like, wow, I'm impressed and I'm inspired. They're more like, what are you doing, man? Like, or, that's weird, or, just be careful, or something like that.
So, gosh, that is a hard situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we have to look at other examples
Mm-hmm.
that have come before us, and I'm just going to have to say, look at Jesus's example.
Yeah.
He didn't care.
Yep.
And it's very hard. I believe it's very hard for us human beings to be able to just, to kind of say, to push that aside and to say, well, it's okay, whatever you're doing to me, because I still know that I love myself, that I'm a good person. I've done all this work on myself. I have all of these, I've removed all these trapped emotions. It's just that steady motion, day after day, one foot in front of the other, and being able to be that example. And I truly believe that if a person were to just toe the line and to keep doing what they're doing, that those other people will eventually come around.
I love that. I love that. And so talk a little bit more about that, because this is what I've seen, and this is what is exciting, but at the same time can be so scary. So let's say I'm in this time frame where I'm trying to attract someone in my life, or I'm trying to win a spouse back, or I'm just trying to maybe be more attractive in the marketplace, because maybe I'm in sales and maybe I want to make more money, right? So what's the consistency in this process? Because I see a lot of people that join, like you probably in your past 30 years of being in the health and wellness, whatever, they join network marketing companies, they join coaching companies, they join this, they get certified here, but then they kind of do it for a little while, but then they get that pull, that pressure, that pullback. And God bless them, it wasn't even of their making, it could be someone else. And then they listen to that negative person, and then they're gone. And then they're like, oh, that didn't work. On to the next thing. So there's got to be that consistency, right? Like, just have hope, right? How important to your health is having hope, would you say? Hope in that even when chips are down, even when no one believes in you, you're keeping that hope alive, that what you're doing really, really will make a difference.
Wow, you've hit it right on the nail. I've checkboxed all of those things you were talking about. Been there, done that.
Yep.
One of the things for me, what has happened to me is I really started having my conversations with myself, having my inner prayers, as looking at it from the gratitude side rather than the please bless me with, or I hope and pray for. It is the I have gratitude for, and already make those statements of the things that have already come to pass. Sometimes it's easy for me. Sometimes it's super difficult. Sometimes I get stuck, and I need a little push to be able to do that. But I find it works out so much better if you stay in that gratitude space and phrase everything that you're talking to yourself about, rather than the moment and the communication that you're having now, the things that are happening now. It is the I am so grateful for, and the things in the future that you want. And just do that over and over on your meditation. That's what I do in my meditation and in my gratitude prayers every day. Grateful for the things that I believe I am having coming in the future.
Wow, I love that. It's beautiful. I think that's terrific. So kind of in closing, would you write this like as I am statements? Like, okay, so what if I want to manifest a relationship in 6 months, or I want to manifest a partnership in a year? Do I literally write down, I am so grateful for this, and then you can write the specifics of that relationship that you want to attract?
Absolutely.
Is that how you kind of think it works, or believe it works, and seen that work in action?
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Okay.
Very good. And I have too, obviously, but again, I'm not trying to be like the expert here, because, I know a lot of people that are watching, they've never done something like this. And what has it done for you on a personal note? If you want to share anything personal, that when you started to do this, like things started to really manifest for you, and you've started to really, have you ever been at that point where you're just like, oh my gosh, this is actually working. Like, it's like, it's actually working. You were almost surprised by it. Is there anything that you can kind of think of in that case?
Oh my gosh, that is huge for me. Huge, huge. So when I found the emotion code and knew that this is what I was supposed to be doing last year, I wasn't really in that manifesting stage yet. And it came along, and as soon as it connected with me, it literally just did like this fan of, this is what's going to happen. Here it is. This, you're going to start with this, and here's what's going to be involved, and here's the end. The middle part was a little muddled. I wasn't quite sure, but I just knew in my heart, because it was just one of those instant feelings. I knew in my heart that everything else would work. And then lo and behold, Inside Out Institute came along, and it just lit up. And I just knew that was the middle part that was missing. So it really, that was how it manifested for me in my life.
But then the key thing is, you said that you were open. I talk to a lot of people all the time about Inside Out Institute, and we literally can give them like the yellow brick road to massive success, and they're still going to be like, you know what? Let me just think about it. So you literally say, okay, if you sign up now, we'll pay your mortgage for 8 years. But right now the cost is this, and they're like, you know what? Let me pray about it. So there's a lot of people that are not doing what you're saying. And for whatever reason, they're not preparing. They don't have the strategy to have enough vision for the future. And without vision, people perish. So I think anyone that's watching this, I think that a huge takeaway that I would have from this interview is, are you preparing for the battle? Because it's either going to be a wonderful one battle, or it's going to be a war that you're not going to win, a war against you in your relationships and your finances, because you're not preparing, and a lot of people just don't do that. So in a sense, would you say that by doing this, by manifesting, that really is just you preparing for the abundance and raising that vibration that you really want to put out there into the world?
That's huge. Raising your vibration is huge. Just having that mindset and just being open that way, because I knew about the Inside Out Institute when I was close to graduating from the Emotion Code. And I didn't think that was for me because I wasn't qualified, because it just wasn't time. So when it was time, and when I had that confidence that was starting to build, it just connected instantly. So I think everybody, you just need to stay open and have that mindset of, whatever it is that's going to come along, I'm going to take a look at it. Those I am statements are, I am open, I am available, I am ready. So we don't know. We don't always know what's coming along, but if you're open for it, and if you have been working on that, then if something like IOI comes along and you connect with it, then you'll know that it's for you.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Obviously, in IOI, we also don't want people that don't want to be here. Yeah. Because this is an amazing organization. So we want people that are excited and are very grateful that they found IOI.
Amen. I love those people. They're the best. So, hey, where do we find you on Instagram and Facebook, Tammy? Do you have a handle on Instagram?
I'm getting a handle on Instagram.
Okay, great. So you're on Facebook, so you're.
No. I thought you were meaning like, how am I doing on it? Yes, I do have it.
What's your name on Instagram?
Okay, it's Tammy Healthy to You.
Okay, Tammy Healthy to You, like number 2? And
Healthy to number 2, and then the letter U.
Very good. And obviously Tammy Plett here on Facebook. Hey, Tammy, I know we're going to hop off to our heart-to-heart call with Inside Out Institute here with me and Emmanuel, and of course our great Q&A. But thank you so much. It was great. I love these because I really enjoy the conversation here. But I think this is such a valuable piece of content that you've given us, that if anyone does watch this, whether they're on the replay or live, they really can get some incredible results from this if they do exactly what you're saying. So I really appreciate your perspective.
Thank you. I have a lot of gratitude that you asked me to be on. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. All right, whatever, everybody. Thanks so much. Hope if this gave you a lot of value, comment, let us know. If you would like to talk to someone for free, if you're going through some tough times right now in life, go ahead and DM me. We'll set that up with our counselors and people that are out there to help you with anxiety and depression, and even just even if you're fine but you need clarity, and you're an entrepreneur or you're an energy healer like Tammy, but you're lost. You're like, how do I market myself? How do I get my word out? How do I get my message out? Well, we have people that are there to really communicate with you for free, walk you through, navigate kind of those hurdles that you might be through. And I've been through them, Tammy's been through them. And to have that clarity is everything, because clarity plus focus equals energy. And energy is everything. And that's what raising vibrations is all about. So thank you so much for watching. Looking forward to next week with our next guest on the You vs. You show. So thanks, everybody. Tammy, appreciate you. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.